Sarah is 31. She runs 3 times a week. She doesn't eat fast food. Her BMI is normal. Last month, her doctor told her she's pre-diabetic. She asked how that was even possible. The answer has nothing to do with her weight. Sarah isn't rare. She represents a growing number of people who don't fit the picture but are on the same path. If you've ever assumed your weight or your workouts make you immune to this video is going to change that. The pancreas working overtime. Insulin has one job: open the door so sugar can move out of your blood and into your cells. When cells start ignoring that signal, your pancreas doesn't give up. It shouts louder. It pumps out more and more insulin to force the door open anyway. This is the part nobody feels. You can be producing 2 or 3 times the normal amount of insulin and still have completely normal blood sugar because your pancreas is quietly compensating behind the scenes. No symptoms, no warning, just an organ working harder and harder while every visible sign of health stays exactly the same. Think about what that actually means. The pancreas isn't a backup system sitting in reserve. It's an organ with a finite capacity, getting pushed past its comfortable working load day after day, meal after meal. It can sustain that overtime for a long time, not forever. That compensation is the entire hidden problem, and it can run for years before anything shows up on a test, because the test most people get only measures the result of the compensation, not the strain behind it. The fat you can't see. Not all fat behaves the same way. The fat under your skin, the kind you can pinch, is mostly just storage. It sits there, relatively inert. The fat wrapped around your liver and your pancreas is different. It's active tissue. It behaves almost like its own organ, pumping out inflammatory signals that directly interfere with insulin's ability to do its job at the cellular level. This is visceral fat. And unlike the fat on your arms or thighs, you cannot see it in a mirror or on a scale. You can be thin with a completely normal BMI and still have a liver coated in this kind of fat. Doctors call this TOFI, thin outside, fat inside. Studies looking at metabolically unhealthy, normal weight individuals have found a meaningful percentage of people with normal BMI who still carry insulin resistance, typically associated with obesity. The number on the scale was telling them they were fine. Their liver was telling a different story. This is Sarah. Looks fine on the outside. The problem is sitting on the inside, invisible to every measurement she's used to trusting. Why being thin? With low muscle is a risk, not a pass. Here's the part most people get backwards. Muscle is where most of the sugar from a meal actually goes. After you eat, your muscles act like a sponge, pulling glucose out of your bloodstream and storing it as fuel for later. The more muscle you have, the bigger that sponge is, and the more capacity your body has to clear sugar efficiently after every meal. Someone who is thin but has very little muscle, never lifts, only does cardio, or does nothing at all, has a small sponge. Someone heavier but stronger with real muscle mass has a bigger one. Less sponge means sugar lingers in the blood longer after eating. Longer lingering means insulin has to work harder, every single meal for years, just to clear the same amount of sugar a more muscular person clears with ease. This is why a lean person who has never done resistance training can be more insulin resistant than someone heavier who lifts weights regularly. The number on the scale measures mass. It says nothing about what that mass is made of. Thin doesn't mean protected. Strong means protected. Sarah runs 3 times a week, and running is genuinely good for her heart and her mood. But running alone doesn't build the muscle that absorbs glucose the way resistance training does. Cardio and strength are not interchangeable here. Why eating clean isn't always enough. This is the piece that surprises people most. When you're stressed or underslept, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol's entire purpose is to raise blood sugar on purpose. It's preparing you to run from a threat by making sure there's extra fuel available in your bloodstream. That's a useful, ancient survival mechanism if the threat is real and short. The problem is modern stress doesn't resolve like that. A stressful job, a string of bad nights of sleep, a constant low hum of background anxiety. None of that ends the way a sprint away from danger does. The threat never fully passes, so the signal never fully turns off. So cortisol stays elevated, blood sugar stays elevated, and this happens regardless of what you ate that day. You can eat a perfectly clean diet, vegetables, lean protein, nothing processed, and still be quietly driving your blood sugar up every single day through stress and poor sleep alone. Diet is only one input into the system. It is not the only one. Sarah eats well, but she also works long hours and sleeps 5 to 6 hours a night. Nobody connects that to her blood work during a routine checkup. It's connected. It's just not the question her doctor asked. Why your yearly blood work misses this. Here's the part that should genuinely bother you. Fasting glucose, the one number your doctor checks every year, is one of the last things in this entire process to move. Your pancreas can be working 2 or 3 times harder than it should for years while that number stays completely normal, because insulin is overproducing, just enough to compensate and keep glucose looking fine on paper. By the time fasting glucose actually rises into pre-diabetic range, the pancreas has already been straining for years, not months. The diagnosis isn't the beginning of the problem. It's just the moment the compensation finally starts to fail, the moment the pancreas can no longer keep up with the demand being placed on it. Normal blood work doesn't mean nothing is happening. It can mean your body is compensating well, for now. And for now can last a long time, right up until it doesn't. What to actually ask for. There's one test that catches this years earlier than fasting glucose ever will. Fasting insulin. If your insulin is high while your glucose is still normal, that's the early signal. Direct evidence the pancreas is already working overtime, years before any official diagnosis would happen. Most doctors don't run this test as part of a standard panel unless you specifically ask for it. Sarah's diagnosis didn't come out of nowhere. It came after years of an overworked pancreas that nobody measured, because nobody asked the right question at her checkups. You don't have to wait for a number to go wrong before you check. Ask for fasting insulin alongside your regular blood work. Build actual muscle, not just cardio fitness, because that muscle is functioning storage capacity for sugar. Protect your sleep like it's part of your diet, because metabolically, it is. Being thin was never the test. Being metabolically healthy is. And most people don't find out the difference until it's already showing up on paper, years after the real problem started. If this changed how you think about your own blood work, subscribe. There's more of this coming. And let me know in the comments, when's the last time you actually got your insulin checked, not just your glucose? Most people have never had it done once.